It seems as though, in the mind of President Trump, the election is still not settled. And yesterday, we learned, of course, via Twitter, that he had fired the top U.S. cybersecurity official, Christopher Krebs. Our Rick Newman has been following all of this and the implications of it. Rick, it seems to be done and dusted, and yet, how much of an obstacle are these delays in certifying election results ultimately going to have on the whole process?
I think they're going to have no effect on the whole process. I mean, we also saw this short eruption up in Michigan where a couple of Republicans on the county board tried to disallow a lot of the votes from Wayne County, which includes Detroit, but that didn't last after a huge uproar over that. Joe Biden won the election, and Chris Krebs, who you just referred to, he oversaw the cybersecurity of the election at the Department of Homeland Security. He convened election security experts, and they said this was the most secure election ever in the history of the United States. So that's why Chris Krebs got crosswise with President Trump, because President Trump, of course, is trying to spin a completely different narrative that he lost because of fraud. There has been essentially no fraud, no meaningful fraud. And actually, for all the uproar over all of this, it looks as if these votes are actually going to be certified more or less on time, as they should be. And we're going to have an electoral college outcome in mid-December, just as we're supposed to. Trump will not be in the White House after January 20th.
Well, Rick, I was going to ask about that timeline aspect of it, because I think it has gotten a little bit lost in all of the Sturm und Drang about each of these lawsuits and, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's a pretty standard process that we would usually ignore because it's like, oh, it's called and then that's it. And that process is not going to change. And that's basically 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, we're all getting a civics lesson here, Miles. And I will acknowledge I actually refreshed my own memory on how the Electoral College works. So the electors are equal to the number of members of Congress. So that's 535 plus 3. And they get together in mid-December and they certify the vote. So, I mean, Trump is actually correct about one thing. The media does not determine who wins the election. What the media does is forecast or project what the results are going to be based on the popular vote in all the states. And we know what the electoral vote is based on those votes. So this will all be official in mid-December when the Electoral College and all those electors actually get together, and then Congress certifies their decision, the outcome, in early January. So for everything that's going on, nothing Trump has tried has really worked here. I mean, these lawsuits are just failing one after the other, because remarkably, in this pandemic, with all the partisan hostility, election officials actually did a remarkable job.